Assalamualaikum class. Today we will start our lab number 3, and the title of the lab is to show the output of simplified Boolean expression by following the K-map using the hardware and the software platform. The main objectives of the lab are to display the Boolean expression in its simplified form with the help of the K-map, and then display the results of that simplified Boolean expression by using the hardware or the software. And at the end, you are supposed to show the simplified Boolean expression using the universal gates. The lab CLOs or the PLOs that we will achieve at the end of the lab are CLO5 and CLO6. CLO5 are basically mapped on PLO5 at the level of P2, and CLO6 is mapped on the PLO10. So let's move to the introduction of today's lab. Firstly, you should know about the canonical forms. Any Boolean function can be represented into two different forms. The first is sum of min terms, or the second one is called product of max terms. So here is a very brief comparison between sum of product and product of sum. So basically, when we represent any Boolean function in the form of SOP, then we can see that there are different product inputs that are being added together. But if we consider that particular Boolean function in POS, then we said that it's a summation of the inputs in the form of product, and they are gathered together with the help of the product. So in case of the SOP, we define the terms in the form of min terms, and in POS we define in the terms of the max terms. The symbol representation of SOP is summation, and in POS it is basically pi. Any kind of the Boolean function can be represented into three different ways. In case of the SOP, then you can say there is a summation symbol and the min terms are represented in the brackets. The second, we just represent the function in the form of the min terms, and third, we can represent in the form of the input variables. So in case of P of S, there is a max terms combined with the help of the pi, and we just represent f in the form of the max term, or in the last we represent the function in the form of the input variables. So let's have an overview about for the min terms and max terms in the truth table. So if you have a truth table with the different combination of the input, then the min terms are represented like this: small letter of m, and for the first combination it is represented at m0, and then m1, and so on and so forth. So the important thing is that when we represent this truth table in the input variables, so if there is a 0 of our input, then in Boolean expression we represent it as a complement. In case of first combination, you can see that 0 0 0, it means x, y and z are combined with the complements. So let's suppose we can take this combination 1 0 0. X is 1, so there is no complement on x, then y is 0 and z is 0, then there are the complements on y and z respectively. So this is the representation, and very important representation, how we can convert the truth table input variables into the mathematical expression. So for example, another combination we can see is 1 0 1, so min term is m5, and 1 is x is 1, so there is only x, and y is 0, then y is with complement, and z is 1, so it's again without complement. So this is the min term representation of any Boolean expression in SOP. So the max term are opposite to the SOPs. So you can see that here is the summation sign. Capital M is represent for the max term, and you can see that if there are 0 of any input, then we cannot apply any complement on it. So we can say that it's an opposite version of SOP. So you should remember these configuration in your mind when we are going to solve our further lab. So let's move toward the main topic, that is our K-map. So K-map basically a graphical representation of our truth table, and any Boolean function can be represented by the K-map in the form of cells that are the part of our K-map, and you can see it further, and each cell correspond to our min terms or the max terms. So we are going to discuss how the K-map is working with our Boolean expression. So generally the K-map are divided on the basis of the variables. So in the right hand side you can see that there are different type of the K-maps are available, and these K-maps are based on the number of the variables. If you have two variables, then you can see that the K-map is represented like this. In case of the three variables, the K-map is modified and then it is represented in the form of this expression. It will be discussed later, and you have very clear picture of the K-map in your mind. So if you have four variables, then you represent the K-map in this figure like this. So K-map depends upon the number of variables. So variable change, then the K-map configuration is going to be changed. So let's start with the two variable inputs. Okay, if you have two variables, so it's obvious thing you have two inputs, A or B, and if you have two inputs, then each input behaving for zeros and ones, but the total number of the combination should be 4. The truth table represents 4 combination and we get one output, and the K-map representation of two variables just like that. We have A input and the B input. A have two combinations, two logics 0 and 1, and B obviously have two combinations 0 and 1. So it means that we have total 4 combination and we have total 4 cells. So for this, each cell is represented with the min terms. So this is represented as M0, this is represented as M1, M2 and M3. And on the extreme left side we represent the combination of the input 0 and 1, and on the top side we represent the combination of B 0 and 1. So this is a basic graphical representation if we have two variables. For example, we have two input NAND gate, two input OR gate, then we have a K-map of AND and two input AND and OR gate is just like that. So let's move toward an example and how we solve the K-map, and that's very important. Now we get the example of the two variables. So these are general steps to solve any K-map. Okay, the first step is, if you have a truth table just like that, then you are needed to identify where we get the output 1. For example, in this case you can see that we get 1 at this point and 1 at this point. So first you identify the output 1. After that we will see what combination represent the output 1. So for example, for this one we have A0 and B1, and for this result we get A is 1 and B is 1. Okay, now the third step is to map this output into the K-map. So if you remember the K-map of the two variable, we have 4 cells, and each cell represent the min terms. First is M0, M1, M2 and M3. Okay, you can also label the truth table with M0, M1, M2, M3. So it's very easy for you to map the output into the K-map. Okay, if you remember in the previous slide that this place dedicated for M0 and this place is dedicated for M1, and this M2 and this place is dedicated for M3. Okay, if you label the truth table with the help of this configuration, then first combination M0, second M1, M2 and M3. So we have M0 to M3 for this example. Where is the 1? We get the 1 at M1. Here is M1, we place 1 here, and then we get the output at M3. So where is M3? M3 is there. Okay, this is the first method. If you have truth table, label your truth table in terms of the min terms and then place the ones in the K-map. The second thing, if you not remember where is the min terms in the K-map, then you just see the combination of the input. For this one, the combination is A0 and B1, so you just identify where is A0 and B1. You can see that A0 for this whole row and B1 for this whole column. So where these two things are going to be intersect, at that point you will place your 1. A0 for whole row and 1 for whole column. Where these two lines are intersect, at that point they are intersecting, so we place just 1 here. For this output, our A is 0 and B is 1. Same for the second output. The second output is 1 for the combination of A1 and B1. So where is the A1 and B1? You can see that here A is 1 for whole row and B is 1 for whole column. So when these two are going to be intersect, then we get the 1 here. So this is our second method. If you not remembering where are the min terms, so you can just place the ones with the help of the input combination. So first step is to identify the 1 in your truth table. Second step, you just identify the combinations, and third, you are going to place the ones in your K-map. After that, you are going to be paired that ones. So paired means you have two ones together, then you can make a pair. For example, in this case you can see that we make a pair of ones just like that. We make this a pair. So after pairing the ones, in last we are supposed to derive the output equation of this K-map. So this is the last step. So when we paired, because there is no one available in other cells, so we just have only one pair here, so we're just going to write down the equation of this K-map. So how we write down the equation? For this purpose, you should be very careful. Okay, the output is representing, and output is making for the pair, and we just write down that variable which is not going to be changed throughout the pair. You can understand this with the help of a very basic thing, that if you consider this pair, then you can see that A is going to be changed from 0 to 1, because 0 is for this whole row and 1 is for whole second row. But pair makes in column, and if we see that A going to be changed from 0 to 1 if we see this pair, but B is remain unchanged throughout this pair. So the output should be that variable which is going to be unchanged throughout the pair. That's why we have write down here B only, not the A, because A is going to be changed throughout the pair and it's going to be changed from 0 to 1. That's why we will not be able to write down this in our output equation. Only that variable that is not going to be changed throughout the pair, we just write down that. And you can see 1 is remain unchanged throughout this pair, because 1 is for whole dedicated column, so we just write down B for the output equation. This is very important thing, because finally we are going to take our output result in the form of simplified equation, and it is the simplified equation of our this truth table, the most simplified form. Let's have another example of the two variables. If we have get 3 ones at output for 3 different combinations, then how we can represent it? It's represent M0, M1, M2 and M3. It means M1 to M3 we have ones. So here is M0, M1 is 1, and place here 1, and M2 placed 1, and M3 placed 1. So how we combine these ones with each other in the form of the pair? So it's very important. Here is the concept of overlapping. For example, you can see this KMF. Firstly, if we have make a pair of these two ones and we leave the second one independently, then what will happen? Then you can see that our equation, output equation, going to be a bit complicated. But if we involve this one with the any of the available ones like this, we overlap this independent one with the one at the place of M3, then we get a very simplified form of the output. So our focus is to just make more simplified form of our output. For that purpose, if we need an overlapping of pairs, then we will do this. The example is right now in front of you. We can overlap these ones with the previous pair, so we get the simplified form. If the overlapping exists, then you can do it. So for this, how we write the output equation? It's a wrong output because it increases the complexity, so it's a very simplified form. So for this purpose, we're just going to write down the equation of this KMF. Okay, the rule for the equation, output equation, is the same. We choose that input variables which are not going to be changed throughout the pair. So let's consider the first pair, that is the vertical pair. And in this pair you can again see that A is going to be changed from 0 to 1, but B still remain unchanged throughout that column, and it is 1. And you can see that we just write down here B. Okay, for the second pair, it's very important. You can see that the 1 is remain unchanged throughout this row, but the B is going to be changed from 0 to 1 throughout this row. So for that purpose, we can consider the input A only because it is unchanged throughout this pair. So we have write down A, and we write down for this pair B, and we just combine these two inputs with the help of summation, because we are working on the sum of product, we are not working on POS. So for this, the inputs for the output equation, we combine the inputs with the help of the complement. Okay, the second important thing is that the A is 1 throughout this pair, so that's why we are not complemented here. And same for this pair, the B is 1 throughout this column. B is 1, so we are write down B without any complement. As we have discussed in this slide, if we have zeros for any input, then we just write down the complement on the inputs. Same rule is applied here. If A is 1 throughout this pair and remain unchanged, we write down A, and we see that the value of the A is 1, so we write down it without complement. So it's very important thing when we write down the equation of the output. If you are very competent to understand the two variable K-map, then the rest of the K-maps are very easy for you to understand. So I'm going to suppose that you have a better understanding of the two inputs. Let's move toward the 3 variable example of the K-map. If you have 3 variables, then definitely each variable is behaving for logic 0 and 1, and the total number of the combination of the inputs are going to be increased, and that become 8. The K-map of 3 input variable is represented like this. Single input represent here, and for single input we have only 2 combinations, 0 and 1, and 2 variables are represented on the other side of the line. So if we combine 2 inputs, then obviously the combination become like this: 0 0 0 1 1 1 and 1 0. The important thing is we just replace and swap M2 and these 2 columns. What is the reason behind it? We will discuss it when you are coming on the in the class. So you just at that place you just have to be in your mind that the k-map for 3 variable inputs are like this. The labeling of the minterms are like M0, M1, M3 and M2, then M4, M5 and 7 and M6. Means we swap M3 with M2 and M7 with M6. So it's by default the same for the 3 input variables. Okay, and in the next slides we have different examples of combining 3 variable inputs. So in first case you can see that if we have ones like this, we just pair these ones and we write down the equation. How we write down the equation? The same rule again apply. You just see which input is not going to be changed throughout the pair. So if you can see that A is not going to be changed for this pair because A is 0 throughout this row, and in case of B and C, we are moving into columns for this pair. So in these two columns we have seen that B is not going to be changed. So it's understood we have just two variables A and B for our output equation. And now what is the value of A? A is 0, and we consider B here, and B is 0 in both the columns. So it means we have the complementing form of our inputs. A is 0, that's why we write down a complement of A, and B is 0, that's why we write down a complement of the B. This is one configuration for 3 input variable. This is the second configuration. Maybe the ones is just like that. Okay, the important thing is the pairing should be with the multiple of the 2, 4, 8, 16 and so on. It's not the any multiplication of 3 or other. It's simple rule that the pairing should be the multiplication of the 2. So that's why here we consider a pair of 2, but for this we just get a very again complicated equation as compared to if we consider a pair of 4 input variables. So we are focusing to make our equation more simplified form. So rather than taking 2 loops for make 2 pairs, we just consider single pair of 4 variables. So single pair of 4 variable is also considerable. For this, what is the output equation? If you can see that throughout this pair we have 4 columns involved, then B and C is alternatively going to be changed. So we cannot write down B and C, and we have very clear image that A is throughout the same for this row and for this pair. Then we can just write down the value A, and the value of the A is 0, so that's why we just write down the complement of the A. Another combination available in the form of this, we have just placed the ones and we make the pair of again 4, as our target is to make our output equation more simplified, and it will be occur when we take the 4 variables at once instead of taking the 2 pairs of this particular ones. And how we can write down the equation? Again the same rule. We consider this pair, we can see that A is going to be changed from 0 to 1, so we cannot write down this, and in these 2 columns are involved. So which input is not going to be changed? C is not going to be changed, so we just write down the C, and the value of the C is 1, so that's why we write down this without any complement. Okay, this scenario may be occur, and this is an overlapping scenario, and we have already discussed in our 2 input variables. When we have the opportunity to overlap our mapping, to overlap our pair, then we should definitely implement this. So such kind of the scenario may occur. In this we have the maximum and the best possibility to involve all the 4 variables into one pair, and again we overlap the above 2 pair with the below 2 pairs to make it more simplified. Here is another option to take these two ones independently or treat independently, but the best option is to take or involve the overlapping and consider the 4 variable at once. So for this the equation step is the same. We just find out those input variables which are not going to be changed throughout the pair. So for this, for the blue one we have a is 0, that is not going to be changed, so we write down the a because the value of the a is 0, so it is complemented. And for the red pair we just have b, that is not going to be changed, and the value of the b is 1, so we write down without complement, so it's in SOP's terms, so that's why we just combine these two. Okay, these are the maximum possibilities of 3 input variable K-map if you consider that. Now we will move toward the 4 input variable. So in case you have 4 input variables, then definitely each input behaving for 1 and 0, and the total number of the combination will be 16. The K-map representation of 4 input variable is as shown in this figure. The labeling of the minterms are M0, M1, and again we swap M3 with the M2. Same for the second row, in which we swap M7 with the M6. Okay. Then if we consider the last 2 rows, then you can see that we again swap the last 2 rows with each other. M8 and M12 are swapped with each other. Same for the M9, M11 and M10. Why we are going to swap these 2 rows and these 2 columns with each other, we will discuss in on-campus class. So basic representation of 4 variable input should be in your mind, and the labeling of the minterms for each cell should be very clear, so that we can solve our in-lab task. How we make the combinations, how we make the pairing of 4 input variable. There is an example of 4 input variable K-map. So you can see that the maximum possibility is to consider maximum number of the minterms in single pair. If you can see that the blue pair, then it involves almost about the 8 input variables, and that's it. That is the best possible solution. If we have 8 pairs, then definitely we make the pairing of the 8 input variables. Secondly, if you see that the K-map is a folded map. Folded means if you see the red mapping here, the one option is to consider 2 input variables as a single pair and consider these two inputs as a single pair. But the best possible thing is we have to consider 4 input variables, and this is possible if we consider that our K-map is a folded map. So these 2 pairs are combined with each other, and the pairing become for the 4 input variables, and it is represented in the red color. So for this pair we just not have 2 input variables, we consider the 4 input variables. Okay, the another option you can see in the green color, again we have single ones at the corners of the K-map, each corner of the K-map. So again we make and overlap these ones with the previous ones, but the best possible thing is to consider the 4 input variables if it is possible, and definitely it is possible because we consider that our K-map is a folded map. So we fold this one and this green one with the above 2 ones, so the each ones at the corner of the K-map combined with each other, and we consider this combination for our output equation. So these are the maximum possibilities, and our approach is to consider the most suitable thing in which number of variables is going to be increases. So how to write down the equation? The basic step for the output equation is the same as we discussed for the two variables. For the blue one, we consider which input variable is not going to be changed throughout the pair, and for this what we will have to see. We see that A and B is going to be changed in each row, so we will not consider A and B, but we can see that C is not going to be changed throughout these two columns in which the blue pair is involved, so we just write down the C. The value of the C is 0, so definitely we apply a complement on the C. Same for the BD and AD. So the important thing is how to make the pairs and how we can simplify our output equation. Pairing involves the multiple of the two, and our approach is to consider maximum number of the inputs in a single pair. And this is the best example to understand how we consider the maximum inputs in a single pair. We have another options to consider only two inputs for a single pair, but our approach and our feasibility is going to move where we have the maximum number of the inputs. After the understanding of each and every variable K-map, I am going to suppose that you will perform your lab task in a very well manner. The first thing is you have a truth table, and you are supposed to derive the Boolean expression from the truth table. As we have discussed earlier, we just need to identify where is the 1, and for the 1 we just need to write down the equation of the inputs. For example, here is the 1. The input is A is 0, B is 0, C is 1, and D is 0. The equation of this input 1 output 1 is A complement, B complement, C and D complement. Because A, B and C, D are zeros, so we have to apply a complement on each, and C is 1, so we just need to apply only C here. Okay, the first task is to derive the Boolean expression with the help of this truth table. Secondly, apply this truth table in K-map. Definitely it's a 4 variable K-map because the truth table involves the 4 variables. And the last step is to derive the simplified Boolean expression of the K-map. So the general steps I have already discussed in two input variable. Apply these rules in your given lab task, these rules, and then map these into your 4 variable K-map. Consider this 4 variable K-map. The general form of the 4 variable is like this, and then implement and drive the K-map output equation. So if you have any question related to the today's lecture, then you can ask freely. The hardware implementation should be on your on-campus class. So if you have question, then you can ask. Other than, thank you. Allah Hafiz.